So I think right here is where we can make a distinction between these graphs. This is the point 1, 2. So that if I take 2 to the first, I get 2. This point is 1, 3. So that 3 to the first gives us 3. These are exponential graphs. This is base 2, this is base 3. Well, between 2 and 3 we have our new number, 2.7-ish, which is E, and that's the blue graph. That to the first power, that should be about 2.7-ish. So again, our e to the x is between 2 to the x and 3 to the x. Using 2.7-ish and raising it to these powers and rounding, clearly anything to the 0 power is 1, but these other values are rounded. There's 2.7 to the first, it's about 2.7, and we have other values here to get our blue graph above. So just like before, our parent graph is y equals e to the x. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the first power is itself. And so e to the first power is e, which is about 2.7. And we get those 2 points. And here is our parent graph to start with. Again, horizontal asymptote, x-axis, y equals 0. Then, like before, I shift to the right 2 and up 1. So I take this point, shift to the right 1, right 2 and up 1. I take this point, shift to the right 2 and up 1. And up 1 gives us our new horizontal asymptote, y equals 1. And here's our graph. Just a little different parent graph, but after that it should be the same. As the graph goes left to right forever. It starts at 1 and goes up to infinity for the range. As we mentioned earlier, the horizontal asymptote is y equals 1. To the left, the y value is approaching 1. To the right, the y value is approaching infinity. Again, I start with the parent function of y equals e to the x, the first dotted graph. Key points are 0, 1, and 1, 2.7-ish. We can see that the graph is going to flip in the x direction and going to shift to the right. So first of all, I'm going to flip the graph in the x direction. That means the x values become their opposites. The x value here of 0 stays 0, but the x value here of positive 1 becomes negative 1. And so our graph will look something like this, with flipping it, the x values over the y-axis. Then we'll shift the graph down 2, and so this point goes down 1, 2, and this point goes down 1, 2, and the horizontal asymptote also goes down 2 units, down to y equals negative 2. And so the graph will look something like this. So as all exponential graphs behave, we go left and right forever. We can see from this graph the range will go from negative 2, up to infinity. Let's fix that. The horizontal asymptote is y equals -2. To the left, it goes up to infinity. To the right, it approaches -2.